Hi everyone, so Best Car Magazine just released their latest edition today, and guess what? They have more than 55 new introductions from 2025 and beyond, and all of the new scoops. So it's really exciting. I cannot really go over every single one of them right now because it's late in the evening and this magazine was just released today. So what I'm going to do is give you kind of highlights of the most important ones, and then later on when I have a little bit more time, I'm going to dig deeper and give you a lot more details. I'm going to do this a bit of a live stream style, so if I make some mistakes, I hope you'll forgive me again because it's late in the evening. But let's dive right into the Best Car Magazine September 26th edition, which talks about some of the latest models that are coming from Japan. First one is the most important one, and this is something that we've been talking about for a while, but this is a Lexus LFA II. Now keep in mind that the name might not be called LFA II, but the most important thing is that this thing is wild and crazy and will be the new flagship for Lexus with a V8 4-liter twin-turbo engine with the hybrid system. And this is something that they have been talking about for a while, but they said now they have some confirmation from their own sources that this will actually happen and take place in the fall of 2025, which isn't too far away. It is a crazy rear-wheel drive, high-performance flagship model following the footstep of what the LFA used to stand for. And they're saying that this is 2025 debut because there has been a number of spy photos captured in Europe, which is for GT3 racing circuit. And you can see the diagram here, which let me just see if I can zoom in a little bit here. And I'm going to show you what it looks like right here. And this is the actual scoop photo or spy photo. And this is the GT3 version, which is actually for racing circuit. And this one doesn't have a hybrid. It is a twin turbo. It is a 4-liter turbo, I should say, V8 engine for GT3 racing. And they're saying that this requires the manufacturers to also have an equivalent production model because that's the only way they can actually race in GT3s. And that's why they're saying this is closer than ever for production. I'm not quite sure about the styling, to be honest. It doesn't look all that fancy. Looks too much like other Lexus/Toyota models, so I'm not sure if this styling design is in fact accurate. I hope not, because it needs to look way better than this. But the engine is super exciting. V8 4-liter twin turbo. It is twin turbo, sorry. And it could be kind of 700 to 720 horsepower in metric rating without the hybrid, which will be for the GT3 race. But with the hybrid, they're saying it's going to be more than 900 horsepower. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And many other details are still unknown, but they're also saying that this could really be priced more affordable than you think. Well, actually, it wouldn't be affordable for many of us, but they're saying roughly maybe $200,000 Canadian. So whatever that got converts to US dollars, I guess sort of $150,000 range, $150,000 to $160,000 range US, which is way cheaper than the mid $300,000 range that the original LFA was priced at. So if that is true, and it's going to come up with this amazing twin turbo V8 engine with hopefully a wilder styling than this, well, that could be the news of the century, because we have been talking about and hearing about LFA II for a very, very long time. So this is super exciting. There's a little bit more details in the article, so I'll come back to that maybe a little bit later on and give you a lot more detail. Once again, the main thing is that this will be a 2025 fall, so September to October timeframe introduction with more than 900 horsepower if equipped with V8 twin turbo with a hybrid system. And again, they're saying that this is limited edition, but not as limited as the original LFA. I'm kind of curious about the name because I don't think it's going to be called LFA II. That would be very doubtful. But either way, let's continue on here because there's more news on other models beyond LFA II. So I've got Well, the Suzuki Swift Sports won't be of interest to you guys because that model doesn't exist here in North America. But right here, I got GR Supra, which also has been in the talk for the last little while. And let me just zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, so this one is GR Supra, designed by Toyota, not by BMW, and that this could happen in 2025 model year. It wouldn't be a BEV, so it will be a gasoline model, followed by a similar model that will likely still be called Supra in 2026, and that will be a battery electric vehicle. But the original, or the first one I should say, that will come out will have a gasoline turbocharged engine with a rear-wheel drive. And that is super exciting if we are indeed getting a pure Toyota version of the GR Supra. So they don't quite know all the details yet, but they're hoping that it could be perhaps the new 2-liter turbo engine that was announced by Toyota a little while ago. And it could also share a platform with other sports models as well. So in the meantime, in 2025, okay, sorry, let me go back to that one. That is supposed to be 2025 late model year introduction. But also in the same year, before they say goodbye to the current Supra, they're saying that the Supra will have a GR MN version for 2025, and that could be the goodbye model, I guess, for the BMW sort of partnership Supra. And that one will have more than 387 horsepower, metric horsepower, perhaps up to 400, and could be just a limited model of no more than 200 units. Moving along here, and again, I'll come back to some of these models later on to give you more details, but right now I'm going to give you a quick rundown of all the models, or at least some of the highlights that is in this month magazine. GR86 and BRZ is also something that we've been talking about, but they're also saying that this is going to be 2025 model year introduction, which is kind of crazy, right? How could there be so many sports models from Toyota and also from, in this case, Subaru? But this could be more of a bit of a facelift as opposed to a brand new model. But basically the same format, same system, same method, and this might be using Yaris GR Corolla engine, which is a 1.6-liter turbo plus hybrid added, 3-cylinder. That's what they're expecting this might happen. And it could have, what is it here? Automatic transmission, just like a GR Yaris, with a manual, and the total power could be over 300 PS or 300 horsepower in metric format. So this is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why they would keep the GR86. I don't think it's selling all that well, but it's a good news nevertheless. Below that, we have the MR2, which I already talked about quite a bit. So if you haven't seen my video on that earlier, please go and take a look. This is something that has been talked about with the introduction possibly in 2026. It is not hybrid, not electric, but pure engine, gasoline engine, I should say, powered mid-engine sports car. This is super exciting. I think MR2 deserves to come back. And Best Car Magazine has been talking about for a little while, saying that it's likely the same 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Perhaps that's what they were speculating for a while. But once again, they're saying that perhaps 2-liter turbo engine with up to 400 horsepower. And they're saying also it could be 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And it could be a real amazing sports car because it's got 4-wheel drive plus turbocharged 2-liter engine. So I did talk about this quite a bit in one of my previous videos. Please go take a look at that. Let's keep on going for a little bit more here and see what else I've got. And then there's a Celica GT4 on the top right corner there. See if I can zoom in again. That's the Celica GT4. Again, same kind of engine setup as MR2, 400 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. Again, design could look something like this. Best Car Magazine has really good design and a good rendering in the past, so they could be accurate. But this one, they're saying that it's somewhat speculative still. So there's a lot that they don't know yet, but they're claiming 2026 debut, and that it will kind of follow the original format of the WRC oriented GT4 Celica, by the way, we pronounce it Celica here in Canada. You guys in the US say Celica. But anyhow, it's somewhat inspired by that model. And it could be the new 2-liter turbocharged engine with more than 400 horsepower, which can power this Celica in addition to powering the MR2. Again, with 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and this one could play a very different role from MR2. Again, it's a little hard to believe that they will introduce so many new sports coupes and sports cars, but that's what Best Car Magazine is saying. And down here, you already know about the Honda Prelude, so I'm not going to talk about that one. 2025 introduction. And then we have Lexus IS, the new IS that could look like the concept car LF-ZC. Very mouthful here, that was shown in Japan Mobility Show last year. They're saying this could be 2026. And then additional electric cars in the form of Toyota FT SE in 2027. That one we thought looks like MR2, and that's why we thought that could be the MR2 electric version, but it's not necessarily the case. It could be a separate model from MR2. And then the electrified sports machine that Lexus has already been showing on the bottom left here could come in 2026 as well. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So I got the FTSE and the Lexus electrified sports down there, and that could also happen. So I'm just again going along pretty quickly here because it's going to be a super long video. Otherwise, I'll give you the highlights. Let me know which one interests you more, and I'll go deep dive in those in future videos. Toyota GR Starlet, again, model not for North America. That's supposed to be coming in 2026. Down here, Toyota SFR, which is kind of based on the Starlet, but we'll be sharing platform with Suzuki Cappuccino, which used to be a real cool car way back many decades ago when it was in Japan, which could share that platform with the Daihatsu Copen. So that's on the bottom right there. But more interesting for us is the Mazda RX-7, which could come back with rotary engine combined with electric motor. This is something that I talked about again in one of my previous videos, so please go and take a look at that for details. They are kind of confirming that this could indeed take place in 2026 based on the Mazda iconic SP or sports machine that we saw in Japan last year. And then one more on the bottom here, which is, let me see if I can zoom in again. The Lexus, another Lexus sports car. This one, they're claiming that will combine the Lexus LC500 and the Lexus RC into one unit. So both models will be canceled, and kind of luxury sports coupe rear-wheel drive in 2026. I find this a little bit odd as well. I can see the Lexus LC500 being canceled, maybe the RC as well, but to combine the two together to form a new model, I'm not quite sure about that, but they are claiming this is going to happen. It'll be a hybrid system and later BEV or battery electric model, and a variety of different units are being considered, including a 3.5 liter hybrid system, but it could also be the 3.4 twin turbo engine that we have in North America. So I think the bottom line is they're not quite sure about this model. I think it's too far away for us to speculate. And now we are getting into some other more speculative models, including the new Nissan GTR on the top right here, and that could be in 2028, as well as a new Honda/Acura NSX on the bottom right in 2028 also. But they're saying that both of these models will be battery electric car and not gasoline powered. So that could be disappointing, despite the fact that they might have more than 1,000 horsepower in the case of a GTR. And that could be exciting as well as the NSX, which also could have more than 1,000 horsepower. But being a battery electric car, well, for many of us enthusiasts. And then just to finish off, there's some minivans over here, which are not going to be coming to North America, so I'm going to skip through that. But they're also saying there could be Nissan Skyline EV electric car in 2026. And also Honda might have what they call the Zero Saloon or Zero Sedan in 2026. This crazy design that we've seen in the concept format. a new Corolla in 2026, a new Mazda EZ6, which could be the baseline for a new Mazda 6. And we already know about the Sony Honda Fila, as well as the Crown Estate, which is our Crown Signia. And to finish off, we have potential for Land Cruiser FJ. I've also talked about this quite a bit in the past, so take a look at that. But they're saying this is going to happen winter 2024 or early 2025. Basically a miniature version of our Land Cruiser 250 series, but with a cuter, funky FJ design. I don't think this is going to come to North America, but if it does, it's going to be a super hot item. Land Cruiser FJ, smaller than the current Land Cruiser 250, but with a full ladder frame, same engine in terms of what they have in Japan, which will be 2.7 liter V6 engine naturally aspirated, or 2.8 liter diesel turbo, which are the two exact engines offered in the current Land Cruiser 250 as well. So that's something that they're claiming is still going to happen. I'm hoping that there's still a chance that it might come to North America. And then just a little bit more here, Mazda CX-5, they're claiming that it will be new in 2025 next year. Could look very modern like this. We have already seen the Nissan Kicks and some of the other models highlighted here. And then Suzuki might have another electric car on the top left, and the bottom left, new Toyota Harrier, which is the Toyota Venza. So we won't get that anymore, but it looks really cool. Mitsubishi could have a new Pajero, which would be really cool. That probably won't come here as well, but that could be really cool if it does come out in 2026. And then the Nissan Skyline crossover on the top left. That's kind of weird looking there, but that could be exciting for, again, most likely Japan only market. And then maybe a Land Cruiser electric car. That we talked about that already at the Japan Mobility Show, and this could be for 2027 debut. And that's pretty well it. The rest is kind of K cars, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I will maybe go deeper again. Just let me know in the comments below which of these models interest you the most, and let me give you full details later on. Thank you so much. Until next video, I'm signing off for now.